Us as women have got to start robbing these. He invite you to his crib, robbed it. He invite you to the park, hire some, robbed it the park. Because see, if they start getting robbed, follow me. If they start getting robbed, see, they gonna be like, nah, meet me at Chili's or something. You know what I'm saying? I'll buy you a list. You know, they gonna start being like that because they gonna want to meet in a public setting. But if we keep going in these private settings and not robbing these niggas gonna keep thinking, invite a bitch to the house. We gotta raise the bar around here.
The woman on your screen is accused of robbing a man from the comfort of her own home. Miami police say Nicole Cano invited a man to her Edgewater apartment last month after they met on Instagram and exchanged text messages. The victim told police he was enjoying the view from Cano's balcony when two other women came out of a room and demanded money.
The victim in this case says that he doesn't have any money, but they see that he has a gold chain and they try to get his gold chain. They were unsuccessful, but they did take a crucifix that he had on his chain that's valued at over $300. He tried to leave the apartment, but they held him against his will until finally he was able to leave.
Police say Cano admitted to initiating the meeting with the man but denied robbing him. She's facing charges including strong-arm robbery.
Shalom. First of all, I'd like to start off by giving all great honor to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai by Hashem Rakadash. Double honors to teachers, elders, and the apostles of great millstone, likewise brothers put on this truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and do brothers and sisters tuning in. Shalom. Today's lesson is titled The Esau Effect. Let's start off with our first scripture before we talk about this two clip that you saw, and I do have other clips that we're going to go through along with other scriptures. This is the book of Daniel 4, starting verse 17. It reads, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of man, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of man." So because we have the basis of man, okay, aka the so-called white man, Caucasians, okay, ruling this earth, this is what the results are, okay? And like I said, we have several clips to go through, okay? So let's discuss this for a second. Of course, we're going to bring out scriptures. What you saw in the first clip was Eve, okay, come up with a very clever idea on how to get men that she considers to be cheap, okay, because they want to have a more affordable date at home, you know, cooking together, maybe trying to get to know each other, okay, being in a more intimate atmosphere. She considered that to be an insult because she feel like she's worth more than that, that a man should take his paycheck and take her out, okay, and spend, you know, 6 times or 7 times more on a meal that can be cooked at home, okay, with real ingredients, okay. So she came up with the idea that maybe robbing men at their home would cause a lot of men to panic and decide that they would meet women out at restaurants instead. And it's one of the most stupidest thing, okay, you know, I've heard come out of these women's mouth, you know, to this day. But, okay, you saw in the second clip, okay, well, that just happened, okay, out there in Miami, okay, on Instagram, you have this is what looks to be a northern tribe young lady there, lured, okay, with her looks, okay, a man, okay, to her home, and then she had 2 other of her friends hidden that decided they would jump him and rob him, okay. And you know, the news feed that I just gave you didn't really go in detail into it as much as the written version, okay. Let's talk about the fact that there was a fight. There was a fight. These three women, they jumped this guy, and they ended up getting, okay, the gold cross. Okay, they didn't get too much from him, so he did put up a fight. Okay, but this is what you're seeing right now, and this is why, okay, when we go into the book of Ecclesiasticus 25 and verse 21, it reads, "Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure." Now, of course, we want our women, you know, for pleasure, you know, of course. But, okay, let's use, for example, in the second clip, okay, the Northern Tribe woman there, I mean, she looks cute even without makeup, and I can't imagine what she would look like on her Instagram. I didn't go to the page. I don't know what the page is, but she used her beauty, okay, to lure a man that is looking at just only the external, okay, features, but he doesn't know what the internal person is all about, and she turns out to be a demon. He could have very well have lost his life. They could have very well, have pulled a weapon on him, okay, and right now we'll be reading about him, okay, as just another victim, okay, to the violence that is growing here in Great Babylon, America. Okay, let's go into the book of Ephesians 5 and start in verse 16, because this is something that we have always told, each other, and also especially you young men out there that are in the dating world. Okay, you have to be careful. You have to be careful, because nothing is what it seems these days. And this is Ephesians 5 and starting with verse 15 to read. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Okay, so we can't walk like how we did, in the world, where you just look at, oh, wow, she's pretty and all of that stuff right there. I mean, you have victims, okay, men that have been played, robbed by women. The women come to the date with kids. They come with their other friends and expect the guy to pay for all of it. And all of these are being posted, okay, as a warning of what you are not to get yourself involved with. So we've seen, okay, because, we're under the rulership, okay, of the base of men, you have these women that are completely out of order. Let's close out for this particular clip here with Ecclesiasticus, okay, 26 and verse 24, and it reads, a dishonest woman contempted shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. Okay, and you women are shameful. Okay, you are shameful. The Hebrew Israelite man is your husband if you get with him. Okay, but y'all don't reverence the men of the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and therefore this is why y'all are coming up with these methods right now to sustain your lifestyle that you've come to love here in Great Babylon, America.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is T, and today I have a giant king crab leg seafood boil mukbang. I have some lobster claws, some shrimp and eggs with sausage. Some hungry, right? We're gonna have a conversation at the end about really and truly not being jealous about anyone.
Money families never eat lobster, never. And only we know why. After you watch this video, I promise you, you will never order one again. Here is the truth. Here is what they never tell you. Lobsters, you see, they can live to 140 years old. 140. Most of the ones on your plate, they are somewhere between 40 and 70 years old. They never stop growing. They never age the way we do. And yes, they feel every second of being boiled alive, because they have no nervous system designed to go unconscious. None. But that, my friend, that is not the real reason we avoid them. Lobsters are bottom feeders. Bottom feeders. They spend their entire lives eating the corpses of dead fish, decomposing marine life, and whatever waste sinks to the ocean floor. Their bodies absorb the mercury, the microplastics, the heavy metals, all of it, from everything they consume for decades. A single lobster on your plate, just one, may have been absorbing ocean pollution since the 1980s. My grandfather, God rest him, he refused to serve lobster at his table. Not because he could not afford it. No. Because he understood something most Americans, even today, still do not understand. Lobster, you see, lobster used to be prison food. Prison food. It was fed to slaves and inmates because it was considered garbage. Garbage of the sea. And then someone somewhere convinced you it was luxury. And the price, well, the price went up 1,000% overnight. So here you are, paying $200 a plate to eat the cleaning crew of the ocean. Comment Dynasty, and I will send you, personally, the full list of foods the wealthy quietly refuse to touch.
This is the book of Leviticus 11 And starting with verse 9, it reads, "These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever had fin and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever had no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you." And here, okay, you saw in that first clip, this Eve, rebellious as hell. Okay, and that's why I added the clip of the so-called white man, because again, he's Esau, okay, and this is the Esau effect, okay, and he talks about why these were made as a delicacy, okay, and the impact, okay, and he spoke about, okay, the illnesses that are attributed to people when they eat these things and what these things were really created. They're bottom feeders, okay, and Lord willing, someone who's in the world who was eating these things, because I did and many other brothers did, okay, have come to turn that this is a commandment from the Lord Yahweh Shai to us. There's a reason why we are not to eat these things, okay? Don't follow the other tribes eating it. In fact, let's go to Ezekiel, because there's a lot of illnesses and stuff going on right now, and this is a judgment that's going to fall heavily on the disobedient children. This is Ezekiel 14 and verse 21 reads, "For thus said the Lord power, how much more when I send my four sword judgments upon Jerusalem," okay, we as a people, so-called blacks and Americans, Latinos and Hispanics, "the sword and the famine and the noisome beast and the pestilence to cut off from it man and beast." So she might think that's just humorous, eating, and she's got almost 1 million subscribers, and we've seen other ones go out there and do this, and and they they do it intentionally because they know the man out on the highway and the byway, okay, and the unicorn preach against this, okay, it's written in the Bible, but they want to show, look, I'm eating it and nothing is happening. We shall see in the near future how this is going to play out, okay, for those that think that they can test the Lord Yahweh Shai.
A jaw-dropping claim that rich foreigners paid to shoot humans in Sarajevo in the 1990s, when the city was in the middle of a violent and chaotic military blockade, has sparked an investigation by Italian prosecutors. The stunning allegations come from an Italian writer who alleged he had uncovered evidence that wealthy gun enthusiasts, dubbed sniper tourists, would pay Bosnian Serb forces for the chance to gun down residents at random during the 4-year siege of the city, The Guardian reported. Rich foreigners allegedly paid upwards of $90,000 to shoot people during human safari trips to Sarajevo in the 1990s, with an extra fee to kill children. There were Germans, French, English, people from all Western countries who paid large sums of money to be taken there to shoot civilians, said Ezio Gavazzani, the investigative writer. There were no political or religious motivations. They were rich people who went there for fun and personal satisfaction. We are talking about people who love guns, who perhaps go to shooting ranges or on safari in Africa, he said. Gavazzani claims he first read reports of the alleged tourist-led shootings in Italian media outlets in the 90s, but started digging deeper after watching a 2022 documentary about a former Serb soldier who claimed foreigners would shoot at residents from the hills in Sarajevo. He claims a key source was a former Bosnian intelligence officer. His shocking allegations have now led to a newly launched probe being led by prosecutors in Milan. The investigation is seeking to identify any Italians involved in the so-called sniper tourism. Gavazzani said he had already uncovered the identities of some of the Italians allegedly involved in the massacre, and they are expected to be questioned by prosecutors in the coming weeks. The Bosnian consulate in Milan said the Bosnian government would offer total collaboration amid the probe. We are impatient to discover the truth about such a cruel matter. The first
thing that came to mind when I saw that clip, and that's why I added it to the end, was the movies Hostel 1, 2, and 3, especially the first two, okay? because this is what they was doing over there in those, Eastern European countries. Okay, at least this is what Quentin Tarantino put together in this movie, and it created an uproar over there because they said that their tourist room industry, was impacted by this. People feel like if they go over there, this is going to happen to them. Now, you saw how, those rich people, and those rich people were Edomites. Okay, they named a country. Okay, we're going over to these, country in Serbia and killing women and children, and the money, different charges for who you want to kill. If you kill a pregnant woman, I mean the sickness. Okay, again, this is the Esau effect, when the wicked, okay, are in rulership, when the base of man are in rulership. Okay, and I feel like this is going to happen to the children of Israel during Jacob's trouble. In fact, let's go into Jeremiah 30 and start verse 4, because there has to be something that our people are going to go through that is going to cause a man to be almost like a doggone woman, okay, just shaking in constant fear. And it reads, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah, which is the northern and southern kingdom. For thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Because again, right now, our people are ignoring the warning because they have rights. They could probably sue if they get beat down, all that stuff. But that's going to come to an end real soon. Okay, these people are calling us chimpanzees. Okay, that's why they say when black people chimp out, okay, they're using their signs to prove that we are 3/5 of a man, that we are below intelligent. The reason why their society is collapsing is because they've integrated chimpanzees in their society. And for that reason, now they're falling. So they're never going to look at themselves as the problem. They're going to look at us, okay? And we're an easy target because why? Really, what we are is remnants of slavery, okay? Continuing, it says, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail? So picture that. Just picture that big old 6'9", 7'2", 300-pound, sturdy, strong, muscular, black man and Hispanic man, trembling man like women, okay? And all faces are turning into paleness. I mean, the fear is going to be like petrifying. Why is that? Okay, because I really believe that part of this judgment, okay, which is the sword, is going to be these people or these rich elites coming over here and being in these buildings and stuff around the cities and stuff, and especially in Jake neighborhoods, and sniping Jakes. Maybe they may be using drones, okay, controlling the drone and sniping Jakes left and right, okay. And pursuing to Genesis 27:41, what did Esau say? He's going to slay his brother, which means what? He's going to slay the 12 tribe of Israel. Okay, our days are numbered here, okay? And if the Lord doesn't have mercy on you, and including myself, as part of the hopefully elect, we're all dead. We're all dead. Continuing, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. 12 tribe of Israel, whether you believe it or not. But he should be saved out of it. Only 1/3 is going to be saved out of it. This is a judgment of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, is going to bring upon us. In fact, let's go into 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 17. It reads, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, which is the 12 tribe of Israel. They should be like mad men. Think of mad people when they're forming the psychopaths. And Esau is a psychopath. These Edomites are psychopaths, sparing none, but so spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay? So they're not going to spare any. I could picture this as being part, okay, of what they're going to be doing against the children of Israel. So take heed, Jakes, okay? So this has been the Esau Effect. Okay, I'm looking to make a series of this. So this is the first one. Lord willing, let us edify, let us give all glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.